final BMW IBSF two-man bobsleigh World Cup race of the season is just moments away. Welcome to PyeongChang in Korea, everybody, to the 2018 Olympic venue, the Alpensia Sliding Centre. As we get ready for the first heat of the two-man competition down here, I'm Martin Haven, alongside me John Morgan. And John, what a facility they've built here for next year's Winter Games.
We've seen some great racing so far in the women's bob and the men's and women's skeleton. 1,376 meters steep vertical drop right at ground curve 1.
On the track into the finish area, and your time is displayed right above you. We'll see quicker times than that run from earlier in the week. After 3 weeks of training, they are ready to go. Air temperature hovering around 8 degrees, ice -1. You can just see a final spritz going on the track. There's Francesco Friedrich, our two-man points leader. 4 wins this season. And how much further ahead might he be if he hadn't, with the rest of the Germans, missed on Lake Placid to go and do some sled testing. And Oskar Melbardis missed the first half of the season with a back injury. Still not entirely healthy, but Melbardis is our first sled off the top of the hill.
Good crowd here.
Yeah.
They just bust a bunch of people in. They're seeing their first bobsled or skeleton competition ever. Good crowd this afternoon for the women's bobsled race.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff as well on this track. It's a really dramatic facility in a very pretty part of Korea to the east of the capital Seoul, close to the beach. And Oskar Melbardis, first man off ahead of Lucas Matter of Australia and Edson Bindliati of Brazil. So there's some different nations in the first few sleds. We'll get then, after the first 5, into the top 10 in the World Cup. And be interesting to see just who comes out on top here. It's been pretty tough to pick a favourite in training, aside from just going with what history tells us, because it's been so varied. The training runs have been very variable. The ice has changed from day to day, temperature changed from day to day, and very few of these athletes have got much knowledge. Simone Bertazzo, a late withdrawal from the race, we're told. So we are down to 31 sleds from 15 nations in our final World Cup race of the season. Getting underway for the first time ever on the Olympic track in Korea, two-man bobsleigh race. Round 8 of the BMW IBSF World Cup, the final race of the season and the Olympic test event. Oskar Melbardis just turned 29 last month, recovering still from surgery, major surgery on his back during the summer, with Yanis Strenger, his brakeman.
Well, we're going to see a fantastic start right here, and of course, start record. Oh, he's drifting out of there. 492 start speed, 58.3. Still not 100%, and he's got a little trepidation about this track. Talked to him this morning in the hotel, and he's not found a great line down this track yet. Not many people have.
Well, you can hear from the sounds that he's not making much contact with the wall.
There's an example.
And that's what it sounds like when he does. That was from 9 into 12, that little drop down
13,
into 12.
Little tap on the exit of 13, that wave in 14. Now the uphill section, come here at 15, you gotta be clean, he's not. That's gonna be costly.
It'll still be the first ever track record here, and it's 50.59 seconds. So he establishes the start record and the track record. He holds a number of start records, a few track records as well. But as the first official slide down the track, he sets the marks. Well, this is the exit of corner 9.
Well, this is the graveyard section of the track.
10-11 straightaway.
It's not a straightaway, it's a bend away, but look at the bob jumping.
Yep.
We'll have a lot of that tonight. And here down on the uphill section of the track, the sled gets away from him. He's skidding, going on a severe uphill section. Yep. That's costly.
Big skid, big steer, and rub against the wall. Second of our starters is Lucas Matter for Australia, with Lachlan Reedy behind him. These guys predominantly based in Calgary. Came over for the Olympic test event. Rented sled.
Ooh, he drifts too out of those. Some of those coaches to be looking at that. Maybe those guys ran too far, but the start, way off the pace. And he gets through that curve too. Little skid.
It's frozen afresh every day, the track at the top. Those grooves are cut specifically for the race, so they should be fairly consistent.
I saw Lucas in the North American event in Whistler. And he gets out of there with some collateral damage.
Huge jump.
That might be the most air we've seen yet, women's or men's, Bob. He's late out of 13-14, which is going to make him wave there. Let's see if he can get through here. 15, way high.
But
15.
Drives it off nicely.
Now the steep uphill to the finish. 51.31, it's not bad.
Yep, about a mile an hour off the speed of the Latvians at the bottom. And he'll be looking to take a four-man race trip tomorrow as well. The challenge for the Aussies is going to be making the top 20 in both of the races. In a 31 sled field, a third of them are going home. That's a little Korean symbol for love, by the way.
Well, how about this love here? I mean,
love hurts, John, that's what they say.
Wow. Let's look at the sled tip. Look at the sled tip like that.
Wow.
That's the most air we've seen yet. So he wins the big air contest so far.
Yeah. And again, Edson Binliati from Brazil returns to the World Cup. Like the Aussies, we saw them in North American action. Edson Ricardo Martins, his brakeman.
Good athletes, devoted, working with nickels and dimes to get here.
Want to say hi to their coaches, Joe and Nikki, and the twin boys.
Well, they should get a second best start.
5:10 getaway, so 900s quicker than the Aussies.
See if he gets out of curve two.
Yeah.
Barely, he does nicely though. You know, and this is about making the top 20. You know, he's probably got one of the oldest sleds in the field.
Got one of the best helmet liveries in the field as well. Gorgeous Brazilian liveried helmet.
Yeah. They've done such a great job this season. They keep improving.
Being coached by Joe Manning and Nicky Minicello.
There's another error.
Yeah, lots of air there.
We got more speed than 25.6, pretty good speed.
78 miles an hour.
Not bad at all.
80.5 at the bottom of the track. Latvians, Ostas Melbard doing 82.3. And that's a 51.07. That's a decent run. Shana Roebuck helping with the coaching here.
Not bad.
Yeah,
happy
with that.
Boy, there wasn't this type of happiness, people getting out of the sleds earlier in the week. There was a lot of frustration, and for good reason.
And they're getting to
the
the
track
end.
Is a challenge.
Getting to the end of 3 weeks trying to figure this place out. There's a lot of bruised hips, and here's why.
You've been here 3 weeks, and look what they're doing. Look at the air. I mean, Bob jumping. And then this is down on the exit of 13.
Yeah, again, over the brow.
So that he's late, so then all of a sudden the sled's going to go up and down. It should be right through that yellow mark.
Every time you take off, the sled lands heavily, and that slows it down as well. Patrick Baumgartner, the young Italian, junior Olympic champion. Mattia Variola. Now, they're the only Italian sled in the field today. And if Simone Rutazzo's pulled out today, I wonder whether he'll be good to go in the four-man.
Junior world champion, or junior Olympic champion in 2012. And boy, was he late off of curve one. See if it affects him in two. Not at all.
Now, how much steering did he have to do? Keep it low all the way. The ideal line in two is to be like the salt on a margarita glass, crusting around the top. Ooh, a little high there.
7, 8.
Big corner 8.
Now the 9. And this is...
Do you know what? He got away with that. Yeah. The rear got tagged almost straight again. So Baumgartner in third place at the moment, behind Melbardis and Binliati.
Skidding there out of 13 and 14. And then uphill the 15.
Good driving skills,
53.
getting that skid back under control. 51.12 at the line, 500s behind Edson Binliati of Brazil. Now it's
going to be a real dogfight to get in the top 20.
It's unlikely that these guys are going to make the top 20, but they're going off early. Maybe the ice will be better.
That's that rule that you have 5 guys from the back of the field in points.
Yeah.
Melbardis, which missed 3 races this year. That's why he's back there.
Yeah.
He got a lucky draw number. And then here's the straightaway. Well, it's not a straightaway, it's a bend away. And then down 13, 14, that little lateness there causes him to come up here. Look at where he is in the sign. He's diving below the sign, back up. Watch him late here. And that lateness causes skids.
There's his brakeman, Mattia. Next up, Ivo De Bruyn and Dennis Venker. Ivo's wife, Christine, slid in the women's race a couple of hours ago for Canada. Oops, again, little drift out of the spurs, those grooves that they cut to keep the sled going straight while you're pushing it. Nice height in 2.
That's important to get through 2.
All these corners just kind of corkscrew down. The camera doesn't really show
How steep it is.
Really plummet.
The exit to
Again, that's a good view there into 7. You really see how fast they drop.
Now the pivotal part of the middle part of the track, not bad.
Yeah, a little bit of a rattle rather than a huge thump. 4th place on the split times, ahead of Lucas Matter. But he's not catching up to Patrick Baumgartner of Italy yet. 5500s behind him. 4th of the line.
Just 1100s behind Baumgartner.
Yeah.
Vic Norman, Tom Delahunty getting some camera time. Well, with that start time, 4th best start, 4th best finish. The guy with it's 1, 2, 3, 4, the starters. That's the where they are on the finish line too.
Yeah.
Okay, now the question is, do you run too far here? You watch the way the sled comes out of the grooves, and the brakeman might have 2 steps there. Maybe watch, he's not settled. Look at the sled come out of the grooves too quickly there.
Yeah.
Comes out of the grooves with a little bit of a shake. Friction.
Maybe either to do with 1 step fewer. Oscars Melbardis, the leader, 5 of 31 sleds down in the first heat, and a very quick getaway from Francesco Frigic and Torsten Margis. Immediately, the light went green. They were off.
Track record to start. Whoa, 49. Now watch him get through here. Not really perfect. He's got a little love-hate going on with the track. He had some very erratic times in training. Now, you could have been trying out things, but this is our 4-time world champion.
Well, that's what those 2 training weeks were really for, weren't they? Trying different lines, different setups, trying to figure out the secrets of this place. Whoa!
129.4 is unbelievable speed.
And that was a very un-Francesco
Late
Frigic
there, too.
rattle and clatter.
Boy, way down below the sign. 14 and really high there.
But
Speed, 134.9, that's the best speed.
83.8 miles an hour. Way faster than Melbardis.
Well, I think we...
There's the boys that will be joining him in the 4-man tomorrow. Frigic with 4 World Cup wins and the World Championship in 2-man so far this season.
Yeah, these
not being off the
4
podium.
wins in 2 seconds of World Championships that did not start in Lake Placid, or else he'd be... Look at this. I mean, this is with the big speed in the exit of 9. How much did this cost him? But you aren't going to see too many people with the best start come down here and do that. 70 miles an hour, big change of direction left. Matthias Hoffner helping there.
First of our Russian contenders in this final 2-man bobsled World Cup race of the season is the man who leads the overall points standings combined. That is 2-man and 4-man in all fields, in all disciplines. Alexander Kazyanov of Russia.
Coming off a 19th place finish in the World Championship 2-man. Sled broke. He had to go to one of the women's sleds, hadn't driven that, and that was the reason why he finished 19th. And here's the guy that's leading combined and 3rd in World Cup points. So he was very proficient in training. That's not good coming out of those grooves like that.
Brakeman Alexei Pushkarev, nominative determinism. Of course, he's a push athlete.
Done. That is so crucial.
Look at that.
To get out
He's
of that
gone from
curve
22 to 4,200s back in 1 corner.
It's going to be 60 at the next clock. 51. He's lucky it's not worse than that. And that's all relative to that curve too, so that got him.
the way his form is going, John, he might be struggling down the bottom of the top 20 after this run.
27.2, well, that's not
79 miles an hour. Friedrich had 80.4.
6/10 back, unbelievable. You want to see some long faces? Where do they show us the coaches here?
82.5 miles an hour,
Third.
1 mile an hour back, 50.9.
Look at the coaches. You know,
Well,
curve 2, that was it. Curve 2 is 25, 30 hundredths.
He's 3/10 behind Melbardis, who's second. He's 66 hundredths away from the lead.
66 hundredths is usually the distance in a 4-man race.
That's usually,
on this track.
Well, that could be covering your top 10 comfortably.
And this could affect his overall World Cup standings too. And curve 2, okay, it's about getting through here without hitting the wall. Oh. Then look at, watch them. Watch what they look at curve 2. Oh, does that say it all?
Well, the way he leapt out and walked away from the sled, banging his helmet as well. Very frustrated. Kazyanov is right to be worried because guys like this, Oskars Kiebermanis, are on the opposite trajectory to him. Kiebermanis is having a standout season. 4th in the World Championships, only just out of the medals. 2 bronze medals, Altenberg and Winterberg in January.
Start, excellent.
Yep.
Velocity, second, as expected. Now, can he get out? Yes, barely. Feathered himself through there.
But he started 21 hundredths faster than Kazyanov. That's all part of Russia's problem.
Yeah, Kazyanov especially just doesn't get the starts. But Kiebermanis, this young former decathlete, has been sliding now in his 4th full year. And this is the future star of Latvian bobsledding if somehow Melbardis doesn't come back next year.
And this year it's all really clicked for him, hasn't it?
1600s back. Can't see any speeds. 83.1. There it is. 132.2.
4th fastest in the Eurotech sled. And a 2nd fastest run, only 22 hundredths out of the lead, so he's ahead of teammate Oskars Melbardis by 13 hundredths of a second.
Yeah, even though Melbardis had better speed in the bottom, Friedrich had 2 miles an hour plus on the field so far on the bottom. And this, well, can't say that was perfect, but there's not a lot of perfect associated with the entrance to curve 12.
Yeah.
A lot of frustration is what it is.
Curses Moriarty. Yoon Jung-won of Korea with Young Wo-seo. This is the big hope for Korea. Last year's 2-man World Cup champion. But this year it's been free fall for the Koreans. 4th place in the World Cup standings. The only medal of the year was a bronze in Whistler, the season opener.
And then he's been in free fall, and Martin, he's got to get a 495 start here or better to challenge. In early. Both of them are in very early. 494. Well, that's a challenging time. Now, can he get through curve 2 on his home track? Yes, very, very quiet. They talk. Oh, he's already down 1100s though.
But don't forget, he skipped out on 4-man week in the World Championships to come home and get even more training on his home track. Oh, he's gone from 500s behind at the start to 1500s behind. The next clock will show perhaps
that's
a greater
excellent. That's as good as anybody. 127.5. That's up there, better speed than even the leader, Friedrich.
79 miles an hour, but he's still behind. He's stopped giving away speed. Only 3rd fastest in this Hyundai-built sled, Korean equipment.
Ooh, is he late? Look at him hang it there for the 2nd best time. They'll take it. They'll take that. They'll take it.
200s only faster than Oskars Kiebermanis.
He's the first guy we see let it go in the finish curve and dive off that curve. That might be the line. We might start seeing teams adopt that here in the second heat.
Well, now
they haven't seen him train all week.
No.
Only 1 trip they saw him in 2-man.
They've watched 1 2-man and 1 4-man trip.
Because they qualified and then they trained at different times. And I would think this might be the best line so far in this graveyard section of the track. And then down here at 13-14, he didn't have the speed that Friedrich had, and that could be relative to the sled. Good lines, didn't see many mistakes.
but then nothing that we haven't seen from other drivers either. Justin Cripps, Jesse Lumsden for Canada after a season in the doldrums, really broke those chains in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, silver medal at the World Championships fixes a lot of problems that they've been having. Lumsden, great to start, 499. Now the speed, 5th also, and the exit. Ooh, trouble.
It was a really bad. He loses another 1200s to go 2200s back. That's what that tack does. We've seen it every time, costs you a good 1/10 of a second immediately, and that compounds all the way down the track.
Now he's got to be perfect.
Oh my word!
Violent, but it worked. But it worked. We saw that.
Do that in training again, didn't we?
But we saw the lot of Myers have that same line today in the women's bob. Boys, he's making a few hits down here. Out of 13, another skid there out of 14. Uphill 15, not bad. 6th best speed, probably the 5th best time. There it is, 5400s back, and the coaches aren't very happy with that. Lyndon Rush,
Todd Hayes. We saw that in training. He nearly crashed it a couple of times off 9.
But that was a similar line to a lot of Myers. That was a rough, abrupt exit of 9, but he came straight.
Yeah, but all that energy lurching to one side. It's not going forward.
Yeah.
That can't be helping. Look at this. Look at this. Hauls it off.
Yeah. But his problem wasn't here. His problem was in curve 2.
He was so late.
Curve 2 was what he did.
He was Robin Hooding
This is perfect. But you know, these lines here are pretty good. Curve 2 is where he got crushed.
Yeah, by that time he was well behind, wasn't he? Yikes. So Justin Cripps learns a little more about the challenges of this Korean track. Francesco Frigic with the lead by clear 0.2 of a second from local hero Yoon Jung-won. 10 sleds down, 21 to go, and only 10 more spots left in the race. Can Rico Peter find himself a medal here? Rico Peter.
Alex Baumann had a birthday yesterday, right?
Ah, it was his birthday. 8th place in the World Cup rankings. Peter has had 1 2-man medal this season. That was a silver in Whistler in December.
He started off the season winning medals in consecutive events in Placid and Whistler, but he peaked maybe at the wrong time, because since then he's had some issues.
Listen, his last 4 races, 3 in the World Cup, 15th, 12th and 19th, and then 16th in the 2-man World Championships.
And he's speed's decent, but he's way back. Half second. Oh, and he's late there at the exit of 13. And that causes
really
the wave.
High first pressure.
Late at 13 caused the problem in 14, and still late down there in the exit of 15. And this was 74. Wow. Swiss coaches aren't going to like that.
No. There's an awful lot of head scratching going on about this track, isn't there?
A lot of head scratching going on in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Look at him. There's a little bit of frustration in that look right there.
No kidding.
High on the wood. This is 6, 7, 8 right there. Now look how high he gets there.
Yeah. He didn't quite
not too bad.
Touch the woodwork.
It wasn't
there,
too bad. We've seen worse, but then this is the mistake. 13, way up high, because he hit the wall before 13. That caused a big W. And then he's still late, skidding all the way down in the bottom part of the speed part of the track.
Johannes Lochner of Germany, 2 times a winner this season in 2-man. Silver medal as well in Winterberg, and bronze in the World Championships in Koenigsegg in the 2-man.
There was one stage, 495. Surprised at that. Let's see if he can get out. Second best velocity, and he barely gets through there. Wasn't an inch between him and the wall, which that's not the line. Boy, he's already 2,200s back. That's a lot. Unless he finds some magical exit here.
Well, Friesic was aviating. I think he got even higher that time.
He might have the bob jumping, and then he couldn't get out of 13. Look at the wave at 14. That means he's going to have a skid coming out of 15. Look how high he got there.
Just
second best speed, though. Well, you can't argue with that. Fifth. He's gone late. 42. He's only but he's 20 hundredths back of Keeper Manis. 7 hundredths back of Melbardes. But on this track, anything can happen.
Out of the medals.
Nothing. That can be lost in a
touch in corner 2. Yeah.
Curve 2, we saw that. Curve 2 is worth 30, 40 hundredths on its own.
Look at
this is, what do you think about that, boys? What does that feel like? Then he hits here too, he airborne here too.
Yeah.
13. They look at him come in with that late hit, and then he dives up and down, the W effect. And when you do that, look at the sled's wound up in a skid on the exit of 14.
Yeah. He might get the distance in the air award so far. Benny Meyer and Markus Sammer of Austria next up. Benny Meyer heading back to his job with the army after this. Back into summer training. Markus Sammer had a brief period, didn't he, where he was driving the second Austrian sled, and in the end he went, do you know what?
No, he didn't do that. The coaches said, you're the best brakeman we got. We're putting you back in the brakes.
Yeah. I think after the next time they race here, which will be the games, then they'll put him into the driving program. But right now, Benny Meyer needs that power.
He skidded out of 2. Didn't hit the wall, but still skidded. 16 back, considering the start time. That's not bad.
Don't forget, Rottner was 22 hundredths back at that stage, so this is a good
He got a lot
run.
of 5 there. 6,
Made a
8.
meal of that.
Let's see what he could do here in the graveyard.
Seen worse. 4 tenths back. Top 6 run at the moment from Benny Meyer of Austria.
Speed 130, 130.7, 10th best speed, and he skids in the uphill.
Nice.
This isn't the run that he wanted, that's for sure.
Well, 9th at the line, 51.07. That will safely see him through into the second heat, you've got to believe.
Yeah, he's in the second.
That's a good start as well.
6th best start, but boy. Yeah. I don't think Benny's peaking at the right time. He gets the middle part of the year. He got a medal there in one of these events. He's 5th at World Cup points.
Bronze and Eagles.
Bronze and Eagles, yeah. So he looked like he was ready to peak, and since then didn't do well at the World Championships. 11th.
There's Kachenbile, who didn't make it into the second heat of the women's race. And for the USA, next up is Stephen Holcomb. Holke lies second in the World Cup standings, 101 points behind Francesco Friedrich, which essentially means that for Holcomb to win, he's got to win the race with Friedrich no higher than 13th place. And that is not something you'd expect. Friedrich basically has to crash to lose the Crystal Globe.
The start time going to be a nemesis here for Holcomb. He's 1700s down. Let's see if he can get out of curve 2. Nope, it's over now. Now he's going to struggle to finish in the top 10 here with that hit and that start deficiency. 99.8, 10th of a kilometer down to the top sleds there. He's half second down now.
Down to 10th place on the splits.
Well, curve
what
2.
Can he find here? He had some good lines the other day. I was watching 9 to 12. He does again.
128.9. That's unbelievable speed, though. For all what he did up in curve 2 to have that. He's only 5100s down. He was 4800s down.
Second fastest. He's up to 7th on the splits. This could be a top 6 run at the line.
What would he have done?
In 6th position.
He was 4400s down at curve 6 with the mistake in curve 2. What would he have done without the mistake in curve 2?
Takes a lot to bury Stephen Holcomb's driving abilities. Takes an awful lot.
Wow, wow, wow. He gets through curve 2, he's top 3. Hits the roof in curve 2, we're being told. We're going to see it. So here's 1. Okay, we're getting out of curve 1 with a suspect start time, and now watch him climb, and he's above the grooves, and he hits the lip.
Wow,
and
no
then
question.
Look at the sled fall away. Watch the sled fall away off the curve, and then A hard hit.
Yeah, he gets knocked off
How
his
does he have
trajectory.
the 6th best time?
Whoops. Holcomb understatement. Genius. Alexei Sturmlev next with Maxim Belugin behind him. And
he's had a decent year.
He has. He's had a really good year in four-man. He's comprehensively outclassed Alexander Kazyanov.
2-4 places in Winterberg and Königssee. Has never won a medal in two-man. He won his first ever medal in four-man this year in Königssee, and he's challenging Kazyanov for one.
Beat Kazyanov in the World Championships. He was 17th, Kazyanov 19th.
Yeah.
Not much to be pleased
The Russians
about.
had a disastrous, in the women's program, they finished 18th and the other sled crashed out.
Yep.
And the men here finished, I think the other Russian sled.
Andrianov was 23rd.
Yeah, it was
didn't even
a
make the
weekend to
final heat.
forget for the Russians.
Oh, here we go. That's a decent line.
Speed 126.3 is pretty good, but nothing like Holcomb had.
Nothing like Holcomb. He was 9th on the splits. Now he picks up the benefit of that good run from 9th to 12 and then gives it away.
9th speed compared to Holcomb with the unbelievable speed.
Was up to 8th and stays 8th at the line. 50.87 compared to the 50.78 Holcomb's just set.
300ths ahead of his teammate at the start. He's 300ths ahead of him at the bottom. They're in 8th and 9th respectively. It's better than the 18th and 19th that they were posting at the World Championships.
Yeah, and there's not 10 better sleds in front of them.
No way.
Sturmlev. Better of the Russians, but not by much.
Look at a little bit of a tap. And
Yep.
hard to get through there. The only person we've seen get through there like clean was the guy leading the race, Friedrich. He's in a class by himself.
Yeah, even Korea's one didn't have such a good run. Sturmlev, you can see the exasperation. They spent 3 weeks on this track already and it's still hiding its speed.
This guy here has been posting some times all week in training.
It's been looking pretty relaxed as well, and Yannis Janssens, his brakeman, has been with him in pretty much every trip.
It's his rookie year. Jans, basketball player. Looks like he ran a long ways. Look at the sled now. They get out of there. Decent start, 96 velocity, 7th. And can he get out of curve 2?
Yeah.
Yep. I don't like it when they get close to the wall, though. That's not the line. The line is the middle. 99.8. Not bad. 2700s back, so he's like at 7th at the moment, which is similar to his start time.
Let's see how he shoots the chicane. That's not bad at all. He's going to benefit from that.
126.9. Better speed than Stolnever just came through.
Just half a mile an hour off the top speed, and this is helping him. He's up into 6th position again.
Ooh, big skid there, though. 14 to 15, that's when you start going uphill. 7th best speed. He's been doing 7 all the way down.
There you go.
6.
Top 6.
3 Latvian sleds in the top 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Latvians, they won the gold medal last night in bobsled or in men's skeleton. I'm going to tell you a little story though. We're going to talk about the jinx, not now here in the replay, but next sled up. The jinx of the pre-Olympic test. Here is 13 exit. Watch him skid. Gets it to 14. Okay, he's trying to hold it down. It's a pretty steady line, but he holds it down and watch the skid it causes coming off the curve. Wow. See, he had too much pressure coming off the curve. The sled was all wound up and had to spin out.
Francesco Friedrich leads for Germany after the first 16 sleds. 17th on the ice, Nico Walter in our field of 31.
Let's talk about the jinx. Since they've had the pre-Olympic event, which is in 84, 88, 92, 94, 98, 2002, 2006, 10, and 14. That's 9. So there's 18 pre-Olympic events, 2 and 4. Only one person has ever gone on to win the Olympic gold medal after winning the pre-Olympic challenge. That was Harold Shodai in 1994. And there is some weird stuff that has gone on, including the coach of the Polish team getting appendicitis a week before the Olympic Games in Vancouver.
And only one woman has managed to win the pre-Olympic test and gone on to claim a gold medal, and that was Sandra Prokop, as she was then, early in her career.
Janis Minins was the Polish coach, the former Latvian I was talking about. Liko, a little rough through there, but with the deficient start time, 14th best start, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, up on the splits from 10th at the
Fourth
start
best
to
speed
8th.
in the bottom. uphill was
Going to be a top 6 run maybe at the line. Sixth position.
He'll take it. 3 Germans now in the top 6, 3 Latvians, but he's so close. Look at this, there's a tie for 8th. Cripps and Holcomb are tied. So 8 to 6, there's 4 sleds in there, 400s. Well, watch these lines, the back of the sled. He climbs way too high here. That's a 5.
Yeah.
And then he's got
to come back up.
And, wow. Good pictures here.
Yeah. Look at that, he's steering away from the woodwork, preferable to taking the hit.
Wonder if that's the line he's looking at. I can't believe it, but we've seen a lot of sleds up there.
A lot of tired bodies as well. It's been a long time since Christmas when they were last at home. What about this man, Justin Olsen and Evan Weinstock? What can these two produce? Olsen approaching the end of his rookie season as a driver.
Calf injury. He's a little sitting in the sled most of the week. So they should get down to the 90s.
4th place last time out in Innsbruck, Austria, the best result of his season. Oh, and look at that!
Record, whoa!
All right,
How
I
about
guess
that?
he rested that calf up.
Let's see if he gets through here, though. Barely.
Little touch, but not much.
Well, you got Evan Weinstock on the back here, a 7,700 plus point score in decathlon, and the guy leading the race, Thorsten Marcus, he's the best decathlete in the field, 7,800 points. So you decathletes out there, take a look at these 2 brakemen, similar in build, and they fit into the sport of bobsledding well.
Oh, nice jump, but still holding down 2nd place, 0.12 of a second off the leader.
Speed's pretty good too, 1,800s back. Oh, he's watched him here in the uphill section, need to be clean. 9th best speed.
Little drifting
this
away.
This is his experience.
4th
you can
place
see
at the line for Justin Olsen. Wow. Couple of errors there late on in the run, robbed him of a chance to roll into the station in 2nd. We had a first-time medalist in the women's race. Licia Rissling of Canada claimed her first medal with the bronze behind winner Jamie Grubel-Poser and Lana Myers-Taylor in 2nd for the USA.
Well, look at the stretch. They're exactly the same from dead start to 30 kilometers an hour. They both took the same amount of time.
In 3.3
seconds, pushing a 400-pound sled. Okay, and let's take a look at how he gets through the graveyard without kind of passage here. Oh, a big violent hit there. Yeah. Look at this.
But he was still 2nd until 13. It all
this is a rookie
away.
driver. This is a great hope for the United States right here.
Really, isn't he?
Give Holcomb that start.
Donghyun Kim of Korea with Jung Lin Jun. The Koreans had a crash earlier in the week. Suk, one of their brakemen, I heard, broke a collarbone.
499.
The Koreans have been training at night away from everybody else's prying eyes.
Skidded there. This guy did pretty good in Whistler too. Remember, he was up in the top 3 challenging for a medal and fell away to 5th. Same in Placid.
Yep.
But since then, Koreans don't have good results. A lot of expectations here coming into this event. Well, look at that. That's as great as anybody, but 127.9 is also great speed.
Still 10th position. Can he sneak back into 9th spot where he was at the start?
3rd best speed. He's got it moving here at the bottom. Should be 7.
At the line, 11th.
Wow. But he's so close. Look at that. He's out of he's 10 hundredths out of 7th. Don't know where that went wrong, because good speed on the bottom.
Here's Kim's season's results. 6th, 7th, 12th, 16th, 16th, 19th, 20th, and 22nd in the World Championships.
Okay, 13. Skid. And that, boy, he posted the best speed, some good speed down here, but that certainly erased it. That's down in the speed zone, right where he was skidding.
It's been a tough season for Korea. They lost their coach Malcolm Lloyd just over a year ago. They've got brand new sleds, new runners. Lost or parted with the guys that did all their runner prep for them. 2 tall athletes here. Bruce Tasker for Great Britain, his brakeman. Toby Alubi's what, 6'7", comfortably, isn't he?
He looks more menacing than that. Look how tall he is there.
Makes Tasker look like he's pint size.
Tasker's a huge man.
Huge. It's huge.
So 2 guys got to hop in, get in this little bathtub, and look at the size of that guy in the back. Get down.
496, that's not a bad getaway.
See if Bruce can get out of tow.
A little skiddy, but he didn't hit the wall.
16 back, that's not bad.
You saw the British coach in the red cap
99.3 though, that's
in.
a half a kilometer down. That might be relative to that little bit of a skid. And 2, he's up high there at 5. 8.
Like Justin
6 he was in,
Olsen,
I'm sorry.
second-year driver. Last Olympic Games, he was pushing the 2-man and the 4-man sleds for Great Britain.
Pretty good speed.
Up to 6th position, good-looking run. Keep it nice and tidy at the bottom is absolutely crucial.
That's going to be costly.
Big skid, little tap.
14 to 15. 15.
Could he be
look at the
top
speed
6?
now. 12.
Whoa! What? He went from 6 to
That's
12.
skid out of 14.
13 on down.
Just look at him in curve 14. Loops, comes out like a corkscrew. The sled's all wound up and it just skids right at the speed part of the track.
Absolutely livid with himself, I'm sure. 100th of a second, by the way, behind Dong-Yeon Kim of Korea.
This is into 12. Wasn't too bad, but here, this isn't too bad.
How much energy do you think it takes to flip Toby Alubi up in the air?
Here's this problem here out of 13. Now watch the sled. Look at that. Airborne. He almost rolled it, and that's the problem. He came out of 14, total skid, and that's why he had the problem.
Francesco Frijic still the leader from Yoon Jong-won of Korea and Oskars Kibermanis of Latvia. The race is full for Chris Spring. He's got to bump somebody out now, and that somebody will be fellow Canadian resident Lucas Matter of Australia. And Spring, ironically, of course, born in Darwin in Australia's Northern Territory, started sliding as an Australian before changing and becoming a Canadian citizen.
20 hundredths isn't too bad. If he gets up there in the 127, 128 speed, it was really high at 6, 7.
9th best start with teammate Neville Wright. They're up to 8th position now. This is where Springer needs to get his mojo
That's
back.
Unbelievable speed.
Good stuff from him.
That rivals the top speed from Friedrich.
2nd or 3rd quickest. Up to 6th position. Great run from the
Third best
Springer.
speed on the bottom.
Great run from the Canadian.
Coming late in the heat. This is great.
Top 6 at 4th place at the line. That's insane. Wow, that is insane. Chris Spring, for 600s out of the medals.
9th best start. He's got the worst start of the top 8 and speed that rivaled 2nd best speed, it looks like, the Springer.
Yeah.
And Neville Wright. Of course, it's getting a little colder. Guys are coming later. Look at how high he gets there.
Yeah, very
6.
early height and paid for it almost.
Yeah, but he didn't look like it.
No.
Affected him. We saw Nico Walter with that same line, so.
Wow, Springer.
Limping, is he limping? No, look at that, he's limping.
Yeah.
He look like he's hurt.
One more to go.
He's limping.
One more to go. And here is his teammate Nick Polignato with King behind him, Lascelles Brown. Let's see what Polignato can produce. Best race of the season for him by a huge margin in 2-man was the World Championships, where he finished an incredible 5th position.
19th best velocity. Wow. 9th best start, 19th best velocity. Something happened there.
2-man worlds were sensational for Polignato and for Cripps. Cripps with the silver medal, Polo with 5th place.
On a German track.
Yeah.
This kid never finished better than 10th.
Well, after a season where neither of them really looked like a threat for a top 10
just
finish.
hanging out as Canada 3.
Yeah.
Made a
7th
statement.
place run.
Made a great statement for Nick Polignato. And real high there, 15 and
how close is he going to be?
Speed though.
Chris Spring is 4th.
7th.
Justin Cripps is 10th. He's 7th at the line. Cripps down to 11th with Holcomb. And it does look as though the track has changed and is speeding up. Not any disrespect being shown to these drivers, Because, let's face it, he finished 5th in the World Championships, but suddenly there's pace in the track to be found. Happy birthday, Keenan.
Look how high he gets here, those pictures. Him and his teammate, Chris Spring, had the same lines. Look at this. This is down in 15. And he got out of there without hitting. And came up the straightaway, up in the uphill section. Pretty clean.
Wow. So what chance now then for Rudy Rinaldi of Monaco? We've lost Lucas Matter, we've lost Ivo De Bruyn, and Italy's Baumgartner is on the bubble now. And this guy could also post a strong top 10 run.
Now if he lights things up like he could, but this start position.
Oh, didn't quite get in, but the sled went straight.
Push bar, out, still out.
And he doesn't have time to thumb the button again and get it back in, so watch out down the track. That's going to be out all the way.
I think it came in. Yeah, it did.
It did. Maybe he
heard
did
the
have
noise.
time.
No, I heard the noise up there at 3 to 4.
Maybe the transition rattled it back in.
You know that had to affect him going through curve 2.
Yeah. Luckily it
there's
was
there's enough frightening experience on your mind in curve 2.
Luckily it was on the inside. If it had been out down here, it would have taken everything off the wall.
Yeah, especially all the vultures that hang out down there in the 12. It's not bad. Only a half second back.
13th place off a 14th best start.
This will put him in the field.
Yeah, for sure. And out goes Patrick Baumgartner. He's 17th at the line. Should be enough.
But that mechanical failure definitely affected him. I'm sure they'll be looking at that. That definitely affected him. He was much better than training than he was there. You know,
burying his head in the sled, really upset. It's frustration, 3 weeks, and another loose run. He can't get his feet in is the first issue.
It's okay here.
Gets hooked up, can't get his feet past the D-rings, has to get out to get in. Then he's got to steer.
Then he drifted.
Well, then he's got to steer.
Come down.
Yeah. By that time, he hasn't got time to thumb the button. He's just hanging on to the D-rings. Russia's Maxim Anjanov and Mikhail Mordasov.
First time we've seen him
making his World Cup debut. Exactly so. Like we said, since January 2nd, when they first hit the ice in Altenburg for training, it's been unrelenting, not a day off. Do you think the Brakeman's a bit of a football supporter? Chelsea Football Club, of course, owned by one of Russia's oligarchs.
Look at the size of him, too.
18th fastest start, woo.
And nice quiet exit of Turu. So game on now. He's been through the first hurdle on the track. Now let's see if he gets those high lines. We just saw 2 of the Canadian sleds pick up.
Very low middle line there through corner 5. That's very interesting.
6, he held it down. 8 here. What's he do in the graveyard? He decides to get some air.
19th equal at the moment, Benny Meyer and Edson Bindliati. So if he beats them, they will be 20th equal.
Yeah, 7th best speed down here at the bottom, even though he's skidding in that uphill section.
19th on the splits and 19th at the line. So we have 21 sleds in our top 20 at the moment. Benny Meyer and Edson Bindliati would both go through were no one to go faster. If one sled goes faster, they both get cut.
There's some good sleds coming up. There's 5, 6 decent sleds coming up. Track's getting faster.
31 sleds, it's not a shallow field of talent either.
Look at this. Can they give us some better pictures? Jeepers. Look at the way the friction when that runner came down.
It's digging holes in the ice here. It's brutal. Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, definitely 3, 4, maybe even 5 of our remaining sleds could or should be in the top 20. And here's a classic example, Dominik Dvorak, the young driver from the Czech Republic.
Great season.
Really good season.
He finished in Innsbruck like 5th?
6th he was in Innsbruck, last time out.
You get a great start. I mean, this is a 10-9 sprinter in the front seat. Might be one of the fastest drivers in the field. Ooh, that's
just avoided the wall. I think that was luck more than judgment. 499, that's a decent getaway.
Yeah, but just crushing the wall.
That's not a decent getaway.
No, that's not really what you want to do for good strategy for the time at the bottom.
12th on the splits.
Well, that means he could get away with that.
Yeah. He lost the standard 1200s
That's
per
pretty
second.
good there.
That's good. 4400s back at this stage.
Way off the pace, but this is good enough for a top 17 or something, right?
13th place on the splits.
Yeah,
bringing it back. And he has got a good feel for the sled, hasn't he? He's driving better and better.
He's done a good season for
this
kid.
Yes, he has.
13th, that's great.
I think he's pretty much
that
eclipsed
just
his
bumped out
teammate.
Benny Mayer.
Yeah, Benny Mayer and
Bindliati.
Yeah, Edson Bindliati of Brazil. They are both out. Anjanov on the bubble. Rico Peter in 19th. And next up is his teammate Bert Hefty. So will we have two sleds from Switzerland in the race? We'll have one from the Czech Republic.
Oh, look at this. Watch this drift to the left. He was flirting with, look at that, trying to get control with the runners. That was worthy of some time right
Was there an inch? You wouldn't want to put your fingers between that and the wall.
Curve 2, and this is how not to do it. Look at the spectator back up.
Yeah. It's one of the British coaches, isn't it? One of the Swiss British coaches. So, on the bubble now, Maxim Anjanov in 20th. Bert Hefty with Sandro Ferrari behind him in this second Swiss sled. Rico Peter lies 19th.
Swiss team, the pilot beat Hefty.
Ooh, he drifts. 17th best start from the guy who used to own the starts in every competition. And he doesn't get through too clean, so you have a less than average start and you hit the wall out of 2, your chances are really dim for a top 15. I hope he proves me wrong.
Well, at the moment, off a 17 start, he's in 18th spot. He shoots the chicane beautifully, but he's down to 21st. He is out of the race at the moment, up to 19th. So he is in, and Anjanov will be out. He will be possibly ahead of his teammate as well, Rico Peter.
Put Rico on the bubble.
Yeah.
18th. He does.
So he does. Rico Peter is in 20th. Rudy Rinaldi of Monaco in 19th. Bert Hefty in 18th.
Still a couple good sleds to come.
Yeah. Maciej Luty of Poland might make it through. Cody Basque of the USA might make it through.
Brad Hall, maybe Jan Verber. How are these lines?
Not bad at all.
He was like he was on a rail there.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen better lines other than Friedrich. I think what other sled?
His sled was centered over the right-hand runner mark that everybody else leaves. He was so far down the middle. Friedrich 1, Kiumanis, your top 3 on the bubble. Rico Peter of Switzerland. Poland's Mateusz Luty with Krzysztof Tolkowski behind him on the brakes. Luty could well post a top 20 finish in this run. He hasn't been out of the 20 in the World Cup races he's competed. He was 14th, 11th and 16th in Winterberg, Samaritz and Koenigsee.
Battling injuries all summer, couldn't train. I heard from Janins Minins, his Polish coach, the guy we talked about who won the pre-Olympic 4-man in Vancouver and then got appendicitis a week before the Olympics in Vancouver. But he said he's been battling he had foot surgery and just never could train. And so when he came out in December, he just had no start and he's been fighting from behind the bad starts all season.
And there's no time to do sprint improvements during the season because you're just on ice every day or traveling.
How are these lines? I mean,
very
the speed,
nice.
Excellent.
11th place from Mateusz Luty of Poland, and this is going to bump out Rico Peter.
Wow.
Unless he crashes it now. Peter is out. He's in 12th place, Mateusz Luty. This could be one of the best runs of his season. 14th at the line, even so.
Rico Peter, there's Janins Minutes.
Rico is out. Rinaldi is now in 20th place, and Bert Hefty in 19th might also not make the race. And if we're going to look at big names that might fall, 18th place, Alexander Kasyanov who lies third in World Cup standings.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Look at him limp.
Yeah.
He's not comfortable.
So next up is the USA's Cody Basque with Luis Moreira behind him. And Lou looking to try and blast this sled out of the blocks, give Basque a shot of getting into the race.
Well, Lewis spent a lot of time serving his country. Big ooh, a little drift when he got in the sled.
5:06.
Best start. Whoa.
Lute just started 5:04 and was comfortably in the race. Cody's got a chance with that start.
Got to keep it within 50 hundredths at the next clock. Speed's pretty good though. 100.4 is excellent speed. 41 hundredths. Not bad. He's up near the wood there. 6, 7. See what he can do in the graveyard. Pretty good.
Yeah, not a bad run through at all.
Is pretty good speed.
Okay, so he was 19th at the start, down to 20th. Now he's up to 17th. Now he's up to 13th. That run from 9 to 12.
Best speed. The track is definitely fast.
Well, he carried the speed into 12, and that's
13.
all you need to do. 50.80.
Coaches will love that.
Yeah, and so will Cody. And out is Rudy Rinaldi of
Wow.
Monaco. Beat Hefty is now in 20th. Alexander Kazyanov in 19th, and the danger has not stopped. How well is this track holding up?
Not holding up, it's getting faster.
Yeah.
The track, we're learning a lot about the track, but Cody Basque, if they go back to the clocks, I don't know if anybody had 100-kilometer speed up here in curve 6 that he just posted. Everybody's at 99.9, maybe Friedrich, but that's the best speed we've seen at anybody at the top of the track with a deficient start time.
Well, no Simone Bertazzo, so next up is Markus Treichel of Austria with Markus Glück. Now, the second Austrian sled didn't make the cut in the women's race. It all really came badly unravelled for them, I'm afraid, with more hits than Elvis. And Treichel's going to have to try and avoid that if he's to get in the race and bump out Beat Hefty.
The last two guys down have had, very suspect start times, and they're way up 13th, 14th in the field.
Well, nobody in the last 15 sleds has started faster than a 497.
Well, this is a pretty good athlete. Marcus is a pretty good athlete here. He should get into the low 5s. 5:08.
So 200 slower than Cody Basque, but again, we've seen what Basque could do off of 5:06.
But Basque didn't crush the wall out of 2.
Well, that's an entirely separate question.
This is a rental car, rental vehicle.
Don't be gentle, it's a rental. 22nd place to 24th place, and after that error into 28th spot, Markus Treichel is not going to make the race.
Airborne.
He is our 29th sled, and he is in 29th place. Well, empirically, it's not a bad looking run, but as everybody has said, if you crush turn 2, what you really want is an escape road where you can just go and park, because the rest of it doesn't get any better.
It's cruel.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't slugged.
Can't be many corners that you can think of, especially that early in a run, that can do so much damage. So much damage to your speed. And there it is, corner 2. And again, the camera doesn't show you how it drops down so fast.
This is a pretty good shot of it, how you just down in that little gully.
Yeah.
Forces that airborne, depends on the angle. And
I know, man.
I sort of like those pictures.
I love that. And when you're down there by the wall, boy, do you hear it? Do you feel it when they hit that wall? So 2 to go. And Beat Hefty is still in the race. Can Jan Verber and Dominik Suchy put a second sled from the Czech Republic in? Teammate Dominik Dvorak and Jakub Mosek are in 14th.
Listen to his driving abilities. Doesn't get 5:01's a decent start. If he gets through curve 2, he can be pretty good at the. Oh, look at that!
Is that the worst?
The worst we've seen. He steered so hard, panicked in curve 2.
Yeah.
But that's what that curve. It's menacing, frustrating, nightmarish, terrifying, mentally challenging. What other word can I use here to describe curve 2? Then you get through curve 2 and you got to worry about the rest of the track.
soju, like they say, it messes you up.
I think I had some of that soju last night. Look at 109. It's over. I mean, this is a good driver. This is, and he just made the worst mistake of anybody in the women's race or the men's race in Curve 2 from one of the most experienced drivers on tour.
Yep. 30th place from Jan Verber, 51.79.
The coaches are angry.
Yeah. Well, they're angry, they're watching. Do you think he's not angry with himself?
You know, and he's been supplanted as Czech Republic won by Dvorak. So let's watch the back end of the sled here. Watch the way he steers here. He got it late, and watch the way this. Look at, panic.
Yep.
Then down here. Oh, that might be the biggest air we've seen yet.
Oh dear.
If we measure, that's the biggest air yet.
There is a highlight reel to be made of just the jump shots. Yeah. Goodness me.
One more
Final
sled
then. Last gasp for Bert Hefty. Will he be in or out after this? He's in 20th place.
I can't believe you won't have a Swiss sled in the. Oh.
Brad Hall and Ben Simons.
You're telling me there might not be a Swiss sled in the field?
I think there's every chance there might not be a Swiss sled. Let's see what these boys can produce. Brad and Ben, Semtech Simons on the back of the sled.
Should produce a good start. They should be in the 490s. This is two pretty solid athletes right here.
5:01. Well, we've seen Matthias Luthi, Cody Bascu get in off slower starts.
Nice, quiet time out of 1.
2 is going to be the key. Gets through safely.
100.3 is great speed. The track is definitely faster up there than it was earlier in the competition. Whoa.
See how much darker it is around and about. The sun's long gone. 15th place start, 15th at the moment. That's all he needs to do.
Good speed too. This is great speed. His
only
next
4 tenths
Albatross,
back at 12.
Pretty good out of 13. And he's got a consistent line in 14.
This is good. This is getting close to maybe a top 12 run from Brad Hall.
This will make him very happy after that crash at the World Champion. 20th!
Whoa!
He knocked out. Oh my,
he beat
no Swiss.
Bert Hefty, or did he tie him? Our timing screen has not caught up. 50.92. He tied Bert Hefty to the 100th. There
so
are
Hefty
21
does
sleds in the top 20.
The Swiss do have a sled in the field.
Wow. Well,
to the
Brad
100th.
Hall makes him by the skin of his teeth. But like Bruce Tasker, he went from 12th to 20th in the final few corners. Here on down, where does all that speed go?
Yeah, because everybody else was finding some faster speed down here, and he just didn't have it.
Yeah.
He did have a very, very consistent line around 13, meaning he held it down, didn't let the sled run. So maybe there's too much
steering, and maybe that was the line that Bruce Tasker used as well. But they are both in, tied to the 100th of a second.
Boy,
so,
do we see some action or what?
And that's only the first heat.
Yeah.
They might need a bit of a sedative for the second. Francesco Frugic, Torsten Margis, your World Cup points leaders, move one step closer to the crystal globe as they lead the race after the first of our 2 heats. Stay with us when we come back to PyeongChang in Korea. 20 down to 1. Bert Hefty and first Brad Hall will set the wheels in motion as our fastest 21 sleds do battle for the final race of the year. Francesco Frugic leading by 2 tenths of a second from Yoon Jung-won, who's a couple of hundreds ahead of Oscar's Kibermanis, but Chris Spring, a medal to round out his season, that would be a blessed relief for him. And some really interesting battles coming up. Look at that, from 9th on down, it's Cheek by Jowl, starting with a tie for 20th place. So that means that Rudy Rinaldi, Rico Peter, Maxim Anjanov and the rest of them will not get a second heat here and will join the spectators trackside for the final slide of the 2-man World Cup season. Join us too, please, if you can. They will be back on track at 7:30 local. That is 25 minutes from now.